Hi, I'm Ian Corzine, and I have a little bit of a problem. Way back when I was thinking about YouTube, I kind of thought that I was the smartest guy in the room. I was the guy that could actually make a YouTube channel go to the moon and have millions and millions of subscribers. I really thought that I could just do it. And that's what kind of led me to be into YouTube, creating the YouTube channel, creating all the different social media accounts. And then after a while, I began to be obsessed with views, likes, subscriptions. I worked so hard on my videos. I didn't want to have any help. I wanted to do all the filming and the editing and the scripting myself. And eventually I started spending tons and tons of time away from the house, away from the family, just trying to somehow be validated. And it really led me down a bad way. I became, despondent. I was at the end of my rope. And so I would say probably in 2018 or maybe 2019, actually, I was really depressed and I was just scrolling through Facebook aimlessly. And then I found this post by one of my friends, Cody Warner, who's a creator on YouTube. And he posted that, hey, he was going to speak at this seminar called Vid Summit. I'd never heard of Vid Summit. I later learned that it was a conference of the top creators on social media and certainly on YouTube that got together. The people would get together and they would learn from each other. And I was kind of at the end of my rope. What was I going to do? So I decided to go to the conference. And I went to the conference and I really learned something. I was not the smartest guy in the room. Matter of fact, I felt like I was the dumbest guy in the room. Something happened, something came over me and I realized, man, I just got to sit here and I got to listen and I got to hear what these people are saying and learn from them. And so my world completely changed. I went from being what I thought was a big time attorney, 20-year practice, a federal prosecutor, all the cool things that come along with that, to the newbie, the guy who didn't know anything. And so I decided that's it. From then on, I was the newbie. And I was going to absorb. I was going to be a sponge, kind of like we are when we're kids. And I was going to take notes. So for the past 3 years, that's what I've been doing. 2018, 2019, 2020. I've gone to conferences like Vid Summit and I've listened and I've taken notes. And today we're going to talk about what I've learned from all those sessions, from the creators I've worked with. And I'm going to give you the top 10 truths of elite YouTubers. We talk about, truths being things that are just absolutely the truth, the things that are real, the things that you can implement tomorrow, today, and be able to climb up the ladder, learn from my, idiocracy, if I can say that word, and become a better YouTuber. And so today I just wanted to go through it. I really wanted to take you through what are the top 10 truths for being a top YouTuber. So I'm going to switch over to our main screen here. I'm going to push share so we can get a good, let's see, boom, share. Sorry, it didn't prop up there. Oh, oops, did I show? Oh no, you know what? I went to the number 1. I should go to number 10. All right, let's start it right here at number 10. There we are. So the number 10 truth, the top 10 truths of really understanding how to become an elite YouTuber is to know your audience. And what do I mean by that? Before you begin your YouTube channel, maybe you want to doing a pivot, you want to change the content of your YouTube channel, you really need to spend time understanding who is watching or who will be watching your channel and your videos, maybe on your Instagram account or your Facebook account. And I've learned from top creators that they spend a lot of time doing this. The time that they spend is researching their audience so that they understand who's watching the video and they understand kind of, what they need to do in the future. Now, the question becomes, how do you research? How do you begin to know your audience? If you're just starting out, I think the best thing to do is to go onto other people's channels that will produce similar content to the one you want to produce. And you engage, you interact in the comment section, you read the comments, you begin to profile the people that are in the comments, about what they do, what they like to do on their their online time, what they like to do on their offline time. And then you begin to create some sort of what we call avatar, which is kind of your viewer over time. Once you know your viewer, his likes, his dislikes, what he does online, what he comments to, what he doesn't, then what you can do is you could brainstorm content that pleases that person. And when you do that, then you're much more apt to be able to have a channel that will really create engagement among the masses of the audience that's out there. One of the things I learned recently from Vid Summit 21, which just took place this last week, was that the time is still now. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they continue to grow. They continue to get viewership. So don't worry about, boy, I really wish I would have started my YouTube channel in 2018. Well, that may have been good, but it's still good right now. The key though, and I'd say that the number 10 of the top 10 for becoming an elite YouTuber is for you to begin to know your audience, research your audience. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Why is this not working? Okay, what? Oh, add to stream. There we go. All right, now we'll move on to the number 9. And this is top elite YouTubers know their value proposition. One of the problems with making videos is we kind of confuse our motives. I mean, some of us love to work with cameras and audio and do all those kinds of things that really make us excited about the process. But we like to share what's going on in our lives, but we don't think about the fact that, maybe what's going on in our lives is not that interesting. And so what you need to focus on if you want to become an elite YouTuber is you need to understand your unique value proposition. What do you offer your viewers? They're going to give you some time. In exchange, you've got to give them something, and you can't get angry with that. That's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. A lot of people who are watching your videos are in their living rooms. You do not see each other eye to eye. And so they're only interested in what's going on with them and what value they can get out of your video. I think that there's 3 distinct values that you can offer. 1 is entertainment, 2 is information, and 3 is inspiration. And then kind of 4 is a combination of all 3 of those. You're going to have to brainstorm whatever you want to do online, what type of value you can offer your viewers. It has to be a quid pro quo. It has to be an exchange. If you're famous, maybe it's good enough to show what you're wearing that night to go out to the clubs. But for most of us, it's got to be an exchange for time, for information, inspiration, entertainment. All right. So I just want to spend a moment before I begin. Just pop me out of the stream. I want to say hi to people here that are here today. Oh my gosh. We got Dickie's Discord's Dailies, 333. Thank you for what you do. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's early in the morning, and I really appreciate Dickie's. It means a lot to me. If you get a question coming up, let me know. I want to say hi to, we got DAMIR. Yes, that sounds like a good topic. Well, great. I'm so glad you're here. We also got Solo Nipion. YouTube has been a platform for elites to control. Remember the days when average creators became well-known than news media or Hollywood. Now media, Hollywood, and government pay YouTube to kill creators. Well, listen, I identify with the sentiment. It appears sometimes that when you're out there that you're going to be crushed. The independent creators are going to be crushed by the elite creators. I see that. But I have to tell you, in conversations with YouTubers and in listening to what YouTube management says themselves, I don't think it's their goal. I mean, one of the things that you can't underestimate is that we're providing free content for them. They kind of don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. So they really are motivated to be able to get those videos out. If you go into your analytics and you look at that one graph, which is how many new viewers are exposed to your content, I think a lot of us have a huge amount of viewers that are new, that have never seen your channel, that are not subscribers, haven't watched your content for a year, whatever it is, who are being exposed again to your videos. So there is opportunity out there. And I'm one of those guys that wants to uncover the truth. I don't care about the BS. I don't care about what a company representative is saying or a large YouTuber is saying. I want to go underneath those layers and tell you what's really going on. And so far, that's what I've seen from analytics. And I've spent a lot of time with not only top YouTube educators, but also top creators. So I see the sentiment and I get it. We got Gil here, Gil Padanal, who's watching from Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. We also got Trip on Two Wheels. The word is idiocy, not idiocracy. I know. Thank you for helping me, man. I swear to God, in the morning sometimes I am so lame. Daniel Batal's here. Hit me with some truth, Ian. Another wonderful creator. If you guys haven't seen Daniel Batal's channel, please go over to that. Maybe Daniel can drop a link in the comments. But Daniel focuses his time on helping you as creators create an even bigger audience. And Daniel's like me. He's one of those guys that likes to uncover the real things, not just kind of spit out what YouTube's saying or what the top creators tell us when they're way in their castles. So if you love learning more about YouTube and learning more about social media in general, especially when it comes to YouTube Shorts, Daniel is an expert. Please visit his channel. We got Kim here today. Woo! Good to see you. Good morning, Ian. Looking forward to another fun and educational live stream. Awesome. Well, I'm excited. We got Jeremy Brent. Is this pre-recorded or a really live broadcast? I can't tell. No, it's a live broadcast. I know. I'm a little bit shaky today. I had a long week. And we also got Matthew Llewellyn. Brilliant content tutorials. Thanks for your input on the channel. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and also becoming a Twitter follower. I appreciate that. If you guys would like to follow my Twitter account, please go to @IanCorzine and follow. I put a lot of tweets out there with kind of one-sentence descriptions about what's really going on behind the scenes. That's going to be my focus going forward as we move into this channel. I'm tired of hearing the BS, and I think that these days with mass media being able to, trying to compete for clicks, they're being very editorial. They're being very opinionated about what they want you to understand. And I don't really kind of care what position or positions you take. I just want you, as the people who are been so kind to me, frankly, to be able to know the truth. And so that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. So that being said, let's get to the truth again. And as we talked about before, know your value proposition. That is number 9 on the list of top 10 tips to become an elite YouTuber. And then we're going to move on, excuse me, to number 9. And number 9 is know your analytics. Now, when we say analytics, a lot of us YouTubers, we're referring to YouTube Studio and all the data that's there for us. And by the way, it is amazing. Obviously, knowing your click-through rate, knowing your average view duration is really important for you crafting your content. But it's also important to know your analytics outside of YouTube. So what does that mean? It means making personal connections with the people that are on your live streams. It means making personal connections with your viewers that show up in comments. It means reaching out to them, going into this section, not the, all the details about how long someone watched, but maybe going into your subscriber section, picking out some subscribers and reaching out to them and trying to create this community out there. So it's a kind of a broad approach to analytics. It's not necessarily just trying, I always think that when people talk about analytics, it's always like a shortcut, they didn't like it when I said this word. Well, is that really true? Or would they have forgiven you saying that word if you were telling a better story, you were giving more information, you were being more entertaining, maybe you were being more inspirational? So what I really think is important is that whether or not you're doing a podcast with Apple Podcasts with some new analytic features there, whether or not you're using Instagram and you're using their analytics, don't ignore them entirely. Pay attention to them. What I do is I don't obsess about them, but I spend probably a half an hour to an hour a week. I put it on my schedule to go through my analytics for my social media and figure out if there's anything there, if there's any patterns, there's any red flags that I can use to improve my social media. So again, top elite YouTubers know their analytics. They're not obsessed. They're not looking at them every minute. They're not publishing their video and then going straight to how many views they got. They're not doing that. They're kind of larger than that. But they are aware of the process and they do understand how they work. People like Daniel Batal, Roberto Blake, Daryl Eves, these are people who are masters of analytics. So if you ever want a little more information on how to use those, please go to Roberto's channel. Please go to Daniel's channel. Also, Daryl Eve just recently came out with a book called The YouTube Formula. Highly recommend that. It's available on Amazon right now for a discounted price, actually. I think it's like 16 bucks. It came out like when it was 25. Really helpful for a chapter. Boom. Just kind of a low down on how to understand your analytics. So please, if you want to succeed in this area, you want to be a good social media person, just please know your analytics. All right, what are we at? We're number 7 of the top 10 truths of elite YouTubers. Now, what this is know your stories. So I've had a battle for a long time with the story concept. From the very beginning that I was involved, just doing stupid Facebook posts or family photos, things like that, people had told me, Ian, we communicate in stories. You've got to tell stories, And I had kind of big discussions with my wife about, all right, I'm going to do story-based content, because everyone communicates in stories, and also stories allows people to get through a video, right? And then we went through a down period. We're like, I don't know if stories are really working. If you look at some of the top YouTubers out there, maybe Mr. Beast, maybe Cody Ko, maybe Emma Chamberlain, it didn't really look like they were telling stories. And then people take me back to Casey Neistat, and you see about his stories, and you're like, okay, they do tell stories. And then part of you goes, well, maybe some people can do well with stories and some people can't. I think the answer to the question crystallized for me this last week when someone told me, they said, listen, I said, I'm doing some stories in my content, and I'm, it's not that too successful of videos. And they said, well, then you're not telling good enough stories. And I think that is the thing that separates elite YouTubers from us normies. And that is, we don't tell good enough stories. We don't understand how. Back in the day, there wasn't as much entertainment as there is today. And so people were forced, they wanted the attention of others, so they were forced to tell stories, and they learned by example. We don't have that now. A lot of storytelling is kind of, it's like a magic trick. It's kind of hidden. You don't know, what's going on. So I was, there was a great presentation by Hayden Hillel Smith, I believe, who's an amazing editor on YouTube and has a great channel. And he was just talking about understanding the concept of story. And for you, I know that you can make your videos better if you incorporate a good story. How to do that? Everyone recommends the book Save the Cat. You can check that out on Amazon. I think it's really cheap. It's a cheap book, really short book. And it'll tell you how to tell a good story. And the other thing that I learned from some really big YouTubers this last week was that it's not like you just read this book and you understand the elements of a story and then your story's great. It takes time. You have to practice, and you have to have patience with the fact that you're not necessarily going to get results immediately. But another good tip that I got from another creator is that do your best to tell stories all the time. So when you had a weird incident, there was a cockroach on your kitchen floor and it made you slip or made you scared, just try to use the concepts that you'll see in storytelling books to be able to tell that to your wife or your child or your friend. Try to practice good storytelling every day, and then eventually it'll just become in your head. And then when you're writing scripts for your videos, when you're doing posts, when you're doing an Instagram story or a YouTube short, it just becomes ingrained. But again, I have to warn you, these elite YouTubers that I've talked to say that it doesn't happen overnight. So you've got to focus on that. And it's got to be, like I said, this is the number 7 most important thing you can do to become an elite YouTuber is make sure you incorporate these stories. Now, the other talks I've had with my good buddy Craig from Craig's Tech Talk, go to Craig's Tech Talk, awesome channel, is how do you incorporate stories in your type of content? He is a tech channel. He focuses on smart home issues, Apple issues, all sorts of different technological issues. And it's like, what am I going to do to tell a story when I want to talk about the new Apple Watch? And I think the answer is, and I'm not there yet, I'm still learning myself, but I think the answer is yes. I think that there's some way for you to kind of talk about the fact that, maybe you didn't believe in the Apple Watch, and then you saw the Apple Watch 7 come out, and there's some new features you didn't think about. And as a result, your mind totally changed. You transformed. So there may be some ways you can incorporate story in any of your types of content. It doesn't matter what you do, even product reviews, to be able to give something to the viewer, give some entertainment value to the viewer, give some inspiration to the viewer. So that's my spiel on that. And we'll move on to number 6. Number 6 is, am I on? Yeah, I'm on. Good. Is that the top elite YouTubers consistently show up. That's one thing that I will say is probably the most true of the truths. It's so funny for me to say that, but I've seen it time and time again. These YouTubers that I've seen, and they're making millions of dollars, they have multiple businesses, and they're happy. They're always publishing. I was Graham Stephan was recently talking at a conference, and he was talking about how to do well on YouTube and his story and the whole thing. But he was saying, yeah, the video I just published yesterday was this. He could have just taken the week off. He could have just kind of basked in his own glory with a lot of creators who love him. But no, he's still publishing. He's showing up 3 times a week, 3 videos a week on his main channel. And I think he has one or two on his second channel and others on his other channels. I don't want you to go crazy. You don't need to put out 10 videos a week. None of us have the staff to do that. I say none of us. There's a very small portion of people that have that kind of staff. But I will say this, the one truth that is rung true among almost all my meetings with my consults with creators, the seminars I've gone through creators, is that they show up. They don't give up. There aren't times when they're like, you know what, I'm just going to put it up. No, what they do is they have to batch. If there's a vacation coming up that you're going to go to Disney World or something like that, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to work harder the couple weeks before and get some content for when you're away. And it's just the commitment. It's the discipline. It's the way. So that's another thing that I think you really should focus on when you're going through and becoming an elite YouTuber. And that is show up consistently. And you just got to plan it in your schedule. And you just got to condition your family, your relatives, your friends to that fact. It's more important than going out on a Thursday night. Sorry, it just is. So, and there's going to have to be exceptions made. And you're going to have to work hard on your boundaries, because your family and your friends deserve your love and your friendship. So it doesn't mean that I'm sorry, honey, I have to go edit this video till 1 a.m. No. You have to do a better job. You have to make sure that video is edited at maybe 3 a.m. when no one is up. And you're going to have to be tired that day. That is the commitment. The YouTubers that I've met and I've talked to and I've consulted with, they all do this. And I don't care if they're making millions of dollars. There was a problem here. I don't want to give away my family time. So I got to figure out some other time in my day, maybe a couple days before, whatever it is, to get that done and to show up consistently. If I don't show up consistently, then I'm going to let down some of my viewers, and it's not going to be as an effective and an engaging content as I could have. So, all right, there we go. Enough of that one. Let's go. Let's move on to, oh yeah, this one is huge. And this one is my problem here, dude. Let's put this on. All right. Number 5, and this is another truth that just rings true in all my discussions with creators, is feedback. They're open to feedback. That's one of my biggest problems in life. Sometimes my ego is so annoying. Someone tells me, hey, could you change the sound on that video? It's not as good as it could be. And my first reaction is, F you, and I hate to say it, but it's true. I have to actually in my brain stop from coming out and just wanting to kind of be aggressive. And I don't know if it comes from my time with being a litigator or being in court and having to fight every day of my life, but it's so annoying. I've worked so hard in the last, I would say, 3 years to be open to feedback. And I think it's because of what Daryl Eves told me one time. And he said, feedback is golden. Feedback is what makes you the best. As a matter of fact, all these, and this is another universal truth of these elite YouTubers, every single one of them had failed miserably. I can't, you may be able to think of one. I can't think of one that did not have a disaster happen. In other words, they were down living in a basement with their family because they couldn't afford an apartment. They went bankrupt. I was thinking about Mark Maron. He was a comedian, and back, I think I want to say 2006 or whatever, he had nothing going on. He couldn't get booked in comedy clubs. So he's like, literally, I got to figure out something to do. So he started a podcast. So he was in the bottom of the barrel. So the point of it is that the feedback is the thing that gives you the ammunition that you can make your product better, and you can give more to people. So if there is any way that you can break into your brain, and maybe you don't have this problem, but a lot of us do, especially maybe male people, is break into your brain and say, this, when someone is telling me something that needs to change, maybe however aggressively, please take it in. That's why when I read comments and I get sometimes some negative comments, I really take them in. I try not to respond reactively. I try to say, okay, even if this person is really aggravated at what I had to say, is there a kernel of what this person is saying that I really could take in? So I would challenge you, go through my comments on my YouTube videos, and I don't think you're going to see one reactive comment. I've worked so hard not to come back and say, well, I know the law better than you. Nothing like that. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't explain that well. Oh, okay, my video, I don't understand how to use a filter. There's one video I made where there was it looked like I was like in the middle of like darkness, but it was in the day because there's all these little black dots, and I didn't understand how to use a what's it called? Filter, or whatever it's called for the camera. So anyway, regardless, be open to feedback, along with creators showing up consistently whenever they say they're going to show up. It doesn't mean to be 3 times a day. Maybe it's one time a week. When it's one time a month, like Mark Rober. But the other part is they're always open to feedback. Oh, okay, cool. All right. And the great thing about feedback is that you don't have to do it. I mean, that's the hardest part about humanity is like, you might fight it. Why are you fighting it? Even if they're saying something negative to you, you can just you can just ignore it. I don't believe that. But a lot of times what they're saying is valuable, and they're having the balls to stand up and give you something that you can use. Honor that. So anyway, I'm kind of like talking to myself right now. I have got to honor that. All right, so we're moving on. Let's move on to, what is this one? Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Put this one on the screen. Another universal truth I say that all elite YouTubers do, and even the ones that say, you know what, I really like to keep this in-house. Still scripting all my videos. I like to edit my videos. I certainly like to shoot my videos. Even those people that say that stuff, I'll have help. So what does that mean for you and I, the people that are not making millions of dollars on YouTube and don't have millions of subscriptions, just kind of grinding it out? What does that mean for us? It means let's delegate tasks, even us. So a lot of us have friends who are in the business who could help us with things like, you know what, could you show me how to do proper lighting? It doesn't have to be a long-term commitment. Can you show me how to use this Canon EOS R? I don't understand what the heck is going on. What about the StreamYard program? I'm not that good at it. Can I get better at it? So reach out and delegate tasks. As you begin to maybe make some money, some AdSense revenue from YouTube, or maybe you get a brand deal, realize that that money is not there for you to spend for yourself. It's to give to the viewers and the live stream attendees so that you can make better videos. You hear that all the time. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. It's going to go into making better videos. Well, really honor that and realize that maybe one of your best steps next is you're good on camera, you're doing well, you're getting subscribers, but that edit stinks and it takes you 7 to 10 hours and it eats into family time. All right, well then you've got to figure out a way to carve out some sums to be able to pay an editor to do that. Let's say you're really important, you're really into responding to comments and honoring the people that spend time with you. Hire a VA to help you with those comments. You'd be surprised. If you go to some of the sites like Fiverr, like Upwork, there's also a Filipino, I can't remember I think it's Filipino PH, onlinejobs.ph, I believe it is. There is a whole website where, goodness gracious, for, $7 to $10 to $20 an hour, you could hire someone to be able to help you out. And let's say you're like me, you don't have all the resources in the world. Well, what do? Well, maybe having a VA for an hour a week is going to help. And maybe paying $7 for an hour's worth of responding to comments or organizing your schedule, whatever it is $7. I mean, I think these days with inflation, that's a coffee. So please, it's not just good enough to say, listen, when I get big enough, I'm going to have a team. When I get big enough, I'm going to have a team. No, 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 no. Start now. How can you have a team, maybe of independent contractors right now? You can do it. Even if you have 20 subscribers, you can do it. And I have to tell you that any freed up time for you to be more creative, to give more value to your viewers, to your friends, the community, it's going to pay off in spades. And eventually, you're not even going to worry about having a team. It's just going to happen. So all YouTubers delegate tasks. You do the same, and you'll be a good elite YouTuber. All right, where are we moving on to? Oh, yeah. This is one that's a good one too. Number 3, let's see if I can put this on. Number 3 is think of your content as a gift of positivity to your viewers, to your live streamers. This is really important. You know, we're living in a world of negativity, and some of you guys, like me included, have some negative content. In other words, we're talking about the fact that Article 13 is going to limit our ability to publish on social media. We're talking about COPPA, which may deprive children's creators of revenue and comments and all these things. But realize that even in that kind of content, you're giving a gift of positivity. And that is, all right, guys, we had one situation that existed before this. Now there's this new situation coming. I want to help you, protect you, to try to change your business to be able to save that revenue you're making. So what I really think is important to understand is if you think of your content, a Twitter post, an Instagram story, an IGTV, Facebook post, whatever, YouTube video, if you think of it as a gift that you're giving your friends, it's awesome too when they don't need it. You know, there's sometimes you give people a gift and they don't want it, they don't take it, maybe they pass it on, whatever. At least your intent is to be positive and helping people. So if you think let's say you're reading Twitter, you're going through the line, you want to make a comment. If you think in your head, okay, how can I make this comment a gift of positivity to someone else? It'll change your comment. And by the way, I think in turn will garner more engagement, maybe more followers, more likes, whatever you want. But if you think of that as gifts, okay, don't just think like, I'm just going to be reactive and just try to say a snarky comment so that maybe I'll get some followers or something like that. Just try to think, listen, I'm entitled to, at least now, because there is some sort of freedom of expression on social media that exists now, to be able to say what I want to say. But how about if I said something that was valuable? What gift can I give someone? If they don't want the gift, no worries. But at least your intent was to give something positive to someone that they could use. And then I got to tell you, it's magic. The world will conspire to make you better. It will give you those followers you want. So every post, I don't care if it's one word, nice. Think about it. Is this the gift that I want to give? Is this a gift of positivity to people? I have to tell you, talked to a bunch of creators this weekend, and I'm talking about the biggest of the big, and I think you know who I'm talking about. They're thinking about what can they offer? What can they offer their viewers? To this day, what can they offer their friends? To this day, would this video, would my best friend like this video? And if the answer is yes, then you're good. You've done something positive. So anyway, that's enough. All right, where are we at? We are at number 2, which is, put this on the screen. Number 2 is to focus over time, not on building subscribers, not on setting the record for the most likes in a video, but actually building a group of friends. I never thought about subscribers and viewers and people who come upon your channel or your account as friends before. But I was talking to someone recently, a larger creator, and he was referring, it was kind of funny, he was referring to his subscribers as friends. And it was kind of like, it was weird. It was like, yeah, 70,000 friends did this, yeah, my friends love this kind of content. And I was like, okay, for a while I was taken back. I was like, okay, friends, I mean like your real friends, you have 70,000 friends. I don't have 70,000 friends. And then eventually I picked it up. I'm like, oh, no, he's referring to the people that consume his content as his friends. And I think that the reason he does it, I didn't ask him because it was kind of awkward in the middle of a hall. There's just a lot of people. But But I think the reason he did that was because he wants to remind himself that he is connected in some way to these people, and that, for the most part, what you do with friends is you help them. You give them the gift of positivity. So if you construe your 10 subscribers as your 10 friends, it's just going to make your content better. So please remember, I don't know if you go so far as refer those people as friends. Maybe you do, but like Facebook kind of had the idea way back when, as your friends, how many friends you have. Let's return to that concept. How many friends you have. So I'm making a live stream for my friends because I care about you, and I've learned some things, and they're just going to stay stuck in my brain unless I say, hey, this is what I want to give you. I'm almost getting emotional when I'm saying this. So I want to help you guys. And so you should want to help your friends, and think about your subscribers as friends. So when you're coming up with content, what would your friends like? You're going to know your friends better if you do that research like we talked about in number 10. And you're going to know what they like, and you're going to know how to appease them. It's just like your mom, you kind of know, like my mom likes to cook. So when I give her a gift, let's say for Christmas or for her birthday or something, I don't give her a new Canon EOS R5. She doesn't care about that. I give her something that she likes in the kitchen, like, a new spoon or pan or something like that you would appreciate. So just do the same thing for your friends. All right. Maybe you don't feel like doing the conventional thing. Maybe you see that there's a video that's taking off that's in a topic that's not yours. I'm going to do a topic like that, and then I'll get some, more subscribers. Don't think of it that way. Just think about, listen, I got a group of friends. Maybe there are 100 subscribers, 100 friends. What could I give them that they'd appreciate? And if you do that, done, because you're going to keep doing it, and you're going to keep growing, and it's like exponential. It just, your 100 friends becomes 1,000 friends, becomes 10,000 friends, becomes 100,000 friends, becomes 1,000,000 friends. All elite YouTubers understand this, and that's the reason why they have so many friends. All right, so let's move on to this one, which I think is huge. Number 1, and I accidentally showed this to you earlier on, but luckily it doesn't have that many words. It doesn't have any words, so you don't know what it is. But I will tell you that, when you're behind the scenes with creators that are making an impact, yes, they could talk your ear off about analytics, and yes, they could talk your ear about the new product that they're going to start talking about. But I think more so than anything else is they have really understood context. Most of the top creators that I've worked with have been doing it for a long time. It's not always the case. There's plenty of examples of people that are overnight successes, but there are more stories about people that took 10 years, 7 years to get what they got. And when you kind of forget when you're going through the process, but when you go that long, context comes. And what the context is, and the reason why I showed the picture of Earth, is that you and I are little tiny beings on this planet of infinite size and expanse. And obsessing about some of the things we talked about today is probably not that valuable. Really, the whole thing that I can distill these 10 tips of elite YouTubers is your intent. Your intent is the thing that survives yourself, your soul, your body later on when you pass on. That is the thing that's going to exist. So if you kind of honor these top 10 tips of elite YouTubers, I think it's going to take you to a stage where you're like, listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the camera I'm on. It doesn't matter if I missed a week or missed a month of publishing. The bottom line is my intent was good. I was trying to give gifts of positivity to people. I was trying to do it the right way. I was trying to show up consistently. I was trying to give these people what they want. I was honoring the fact that, listen, I'm giving them, they're giving me some time, and I'm giving something in return. And if you had all that intent, then you can rest easy whenever that is, knowing that you did your best, first, and then secondarily, you tried to make an impact in this world. So it's kind of hard. On one hand, you're like, I got to really work hard to get subscribers and views and friends, in my opinion. And then the other is like, don't take it that seriously, but it just is. That's the balance. The balance is spending time working hard, those 4 hours a day you can fit on this project, And the other is, oh my gosh, this project probably doesn't mean a whole lot in the scheme of things. I mean, a good example of that is what we marvel with when I'm in these creator events, and there's lots of big time YouTubers, and I'm like almost fanboyed out. I'm like, oh my God, I would love to get a picture with Mr. Beast, right? But think about this. Mr. Beast, I guess, super wealthy, certainly one of the top YouTubers in the world. And I bet, I don't know for sure, but I bet if he's walking down the halls in the airport, he probably is walking down and no one knows him. I mean, maybe one or two people, whatever, maybe by now it's not the case. But I will say that in general, walking down the streets of a city, he's not going to be accosted, say, hey, can I have an autograph? So he's so famous, he's so successful, and yet he's not. A lot of micro fame. So what does that tell you? It just tells you that, guys, do your best, make your impact, but I don't think, maybe you will be, I don't think you're going to be as famous as the president of the United States. I just don't think you will be. Maybe even actors, famous actors, George Clooney. I don't think you're going to be, even if you made $50 million on your social media stuff, don't think you're going to have the same face recognition as George Clooney. Maybe you will. If I hope I'm wrong, please, more power to you. But most of us won't. So what does that mean? It means that we'll make our impact in our small space and we'll feel good about that. We won't try to get more famous or more likes. We'll just say, listen, I'm giving my friends the gift of positivity. Good. And I can rest easy afterwards. So that is those top 10, truths of elite YouTubers. And I appreciate you allowing me to do my my rant here. A lot of times in our other live streams, we have more time for questions and comments. But now let's do that. Let's do some questions and comments. I want to start with Lachey Smith. Awesome. Good morning. I lost my mojo with wanting to start a YouTube channel after my boyfriend passed. Oh my God, I am so sorry. That is absolutely, I understand why. Slowly getting back into everything, missed your videos, Ian. Well, Lachey, again, my heart goes out to you. I've lost people close to me. It goes to my number one tip, and that is understanding the context. You know what? Family is more important than a YouTube channel, and I don't care if that YouTube channel has 5 million subscribers and generate millions a year. Family is more important. Take your time. We'll be here when you're back, and we'll be, celebrating you, trying to support you in any way we can. Take your time. So. We got Diane. Oh, you know what? This is the tough part. I really wish we had a better system for comments. But then again, that's my ego getting in the way, so I shouldn't do that. Let's move on to Jeremy Brent. I see a lot of 5s in slide number 9. Let me see, what is slide number 9? Oh, a lot of 5s. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a good idea. Slide number 9, just so everybody knows, is this one. He says he sees 5. I see a lot. Oh, I see. Yeah. Huh. I don't know what that means, but it's very true. Good job, Brent. All right. We got Scott's Paul. Waves from Scotland. Waves from Ventura, California. Let's see here. We got Yoked Tesla. I love Yoked Tesla. That's a sweet name. Smaller creators are not being shut out. There are thousands of new channels being created every day, which is true. That's the truth. As time goes on, it will be a smaller and smaller percent of channels that can make a living off YouTube. Well, I think that's true also. That's another reason why in our live streams we've talked about the fact that you need to diversify. You can't be YouTube centric. Certainly can't rely on AdSense revenue. I was talking to someone who's really doing well. I mean, God, I don't know, maybe 1 million subscribers, something like that. And the amount of money he told me he was making was really minuscule. It's certainly not a living wage. So what does that tell you? No big deal. We get this platform for free and they pay us a certain amount, but you got to diversify. We've talked about it before. Can't do YouTube, Instagram, TikTok without a website. I would advise doing a paywall site, Patreon type site, and be able to say, listen, not only am I taking some of your time away, but I require $4.99 because I'm spending so much time on giving you value, whether it be informational, entertainment, or inspirational, or a combination of the three. So yeah, absolutely, I would advise that. We're talking about Daniel Batal saying tons of opportunity out there. Listen to Ian. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you so much for all you do. Another guy who talk about giving the gifts of positivity. Super, super positive person. Stephen Powell's here. Good morning, Ian from Northern California. Love these long live streams. and they're long, actually. Let's see. Oh, look at this guy. Trip on two wheels. What? No shout out for my channel? I'm deeply humidified because, of course, I made the mistake of saying instead of idiocy, idiocracy. Thank you, Trip on two. We got Michael VX. If possible, to let me know what might be a reason to get very high views in the first couple of months in TikTok. Later on, I get lower and lower views. I don't know. That's a real question. TikTok's a different beast. We're seeing on YouTube Shorts, and YouTube representatives have confirmed this, that on YouTube Shorts, we're getting less views in the beginning, and then sometimes they can really spike certainly after 3 months, but a lot of times after 1 month, we'll see spikes. TikTok is the opposite. What I've seen, and the creators that have come to me have talked about it, is that I've seen the initial spike be when you first publish. So I don't know. That's probably a change in the algorithm. I don't know the answer to that question. I think the key on short form content is to come up with something. We had one creator that I talked to who does animations, and looping content is great. If you can do content that loops in itself, you're going to get like 3 views most of the time. You're going to have like 270% view duration as an average. So looping content's good, and obviously stuff that's new, stuff that's funny, stuff that's inspirational. That's the stuff that really blows up on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So try it. A lot of people on YouTube are giving advice that you can still do it on your YouTube channel. You don't need to have a separate Shorts channel. It's just a debate on what you think. Certainly, if you're doing TikToks or YouTube Shorts that are getting some attention, that's going to bring some subscribers. Of course, you're making no AdSense revenue on them. It may draw their attention to your long form content. It may, but a lot of people are not seeing that because they're, the person liked your content because it was 15 seconds, and now you're doing an hour-long live stream or podcast. So it's a mystery on that one. Oh, we got Ian, hydrate. Oh my gosh. Am I a little not hydrated? Oh, yeah, I got a little cut on my. God, you're right. I did put on my lotion, but I probably should do that. We got Dro Hand Paseka. Ian, we need a thumbnail tutorial. Your thumbnails are awesome. Also, oops on the sheet. Oh, I know. You like that? Yeah. There's one part of my face that it gets cut, and what I have to do is I have to avoid that section. But today I was going so fast, I was kind of late, as you probably saw, and so I cut myself. So yep, I know. So it's a little embarrassing. Nate the Lawyer, I got my check mark because of Ian's advice. It works. I started with 1,000 subs, and now I'm at 123,000 subs. Nate the Lawyer deserves it. Go to his channel, watch it. Talk about giving the truth about controversial issues that are going on today. Go to Nate the Lawyer's channel. Really, really great. I'm so happy. I mean, the guy's blowing up. I was looking at a live stream he did recently with, I don't know what it was, like 64,000 views or something. So kill it. Nice. It's because he's being honest. He's giving gifts. That's what's happening. We got Sunny. You're right. I didn't take a sip of coffee at all. Greenwich, great stuff, Ian. Big howdy from sunny but chilly Ireland. Yeah, I'd like to visit there someday. Can't do it now, but I'd love to. Thanks, Sunny. Thanks for the love. Oh, look at this. I'm sorry I missed this super chat. How Tech 2. Happy Saturday. Well, happy Saturday to you. How Tech 2. I love that. That's actually a really cool name. It's nice and short. It's memorable. Thank you so much for the donation. Like I gave the advice, or like the advice was given to me by these top YouTubers, that $5 is going to go straight into giving you more. Right now, I'm looking for video editors because I just need help with that stuff. And I'm going to spend what it takes to get the right video editor to get this stuff done because I want to continue to give gifts of positivity to y'all. So thank you. Let's see if we have any more. Let's see. Okay, Daniel's here. Presenting story and information simultaneously is where the magic lies. I'm constantly working on trying to be better at it. So hard. Absolutely. I think Daniel chimed in when we're talking about story in your videos. It is so hard. And I think it's just because it's a lost art. I think in the old days, it was something your dad, your grandfather passed down to you, grandmother. These days, we don't have as much of it. That doesn't mean that's not a big deal. We just got to research about it because there is no doubt, and I think you've seen it from time and time again when you watch a YouTube video or watch a live talk, the people that keep your attention throughout the whole speech are telling stories. They just are. Now, they're better stories. Sometimes they're funny stories. Matter of fact, if you can tell funny stories, you're going to have way good engagement. But stories are and so I'm working hard to incorporate my stories and the stories of others to future content to uncover the real truth about issues that are going on in our community. Yeah, this is another one. Awful workplaces, just wrong. Smaller creators are being shut out and left behind for the donors on the top 1%. Let's be real. No matter how perfect you explain it, I don't have any evidence to dispute that. It's kind of like the rich get richer, and that's kind of like a fundamental rule of life. It shouldn't be, but it seems like it is, especially this last year. I think you can't fight it. I mean, it's kind of like I was born poor, and so I have it harder than someone who was born middle class. I think I just need to work harder, and I think that that's the same for you and me. I don't know what kind of content you do off of workplaces. Maybe it has to do with employment stuff or whatever. But I think that, yeah, it's harder for us or for people that are started at the bottom. But we just got to continue to do it. There's no other way. I mean, we can complain. We can sit there and not do anything, or we can do something about it. So you and me, I'm with you. I hear you, but I just have to do it. I just have to write that next script. I just got to record that next video. I just got to show up consistently for the people that are so kind to give me their time. You do too. Serendipity Bakery. I just want to say hi, Serendipity Bakery. I just love that you join us every week. It's so great to see your content and what you're doing. And you bring, and again, a representative of the gift of positivity with your content. Awesome. So great. If I go crazy, will you still call me Superman? That's funny. That's a Gen X reference. I'm in Gen X, firmly, not boomer, firmly Gen X. Marlon S. Yo, good morning, Ian. Good morning to you, Marlon. Good to see you. Let's see. We got Futurology, Gamer Hub. Do you heard about Internet Archive Way Forward Machine that traveled the future of internet, which it discusses dystopian future of internet like censorship, surveillance, and strict copyright? Do you heard? I think it means have I heard? I have heard of the Internet Archive Way Forward Machine for sure. And I've also read books all about that concept. And I've decided, instead of getting uptight about it, I think that I'm just going to enjoy the time that we have. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've told you guys on videos that, our days may be numbered on social media. I mean, does it make more sense to take mainstream content as a large social media platform, or to pay millions of creators across the globe, sometimes $5, sometimes $100 million? Why not just let someone else take care of that stuff and then just take money from mainstream, kind of like Netflix or Hulu or something like that? All right, so maybe our days are numbered. I mean, it's kind of like, this is a sad example, but what if you've been told you're going to die and you have a year to live, 2 years to live, a month to live? What do? Do you just sit there and go, oh, shoot? Probably do for at least the first hour or day or so. But then you wake up and you're just like, all right, I got to move forward. I got to use what time I have to be able to make an impact. So that's what I've chosen to do. If we have 2 to 3 years left, let's make it the best 2 to 3 years. Let's get our content out there. Let's try to incorporate stories. Let's try to make sure that we know our audience so that we're giving gifts of positivity to people who actually will appreciate it. All right, so we got Reggie Bump 37. The only trouble is when nobody gives anything except this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I think he's referring to comments. That can be difficult. I think the best thing to do that I found, and actually this happens in day-to-day life, if you ask questions or you ask for help, people sometimes just really want to come out of the woodwork and help you. They just want to help. And it could come from an ego, like, I know a lot about woodworking, so I'm going to show you the right way. Well, who cares if it comes from ego or it comes from just genuine generosity, not idiocracy? Then you still got the same gift. So yeah, so in your videos, in your posts, reach out. People love polls. People love questions. I don't understand this new policy of President Biden. Can you guys tell me what he's doing here? I mean, honestly, like a post like that will facilitate a lot of engagement, whether or not people have an ego situation or they just want to, donate their time and their knowledge. But the best part about it is the information you get from it. So you make that post, 10 comments come in, you read those comments well, you respond to those comments well, you take the information. Okay, these people seem to not be interested in President Biden. Okay, so I don't do content on President Biden. These people are really engaged. They seem to think that they don't like President Biden. Okay, so my audience is made up of people who don't like President Biden. These are crucial things that you can take away from your comments to use them positively and then to give the gift that people want, that people will appreciate. Serendipity Bakery, me too, Ian. I've had to pull videos and redo voiceovers due to background noises all the time. I just had a background noise. My coffee maker just went off. So it happens all the time. Let's see. I was working on my, this is Kenny Lewis Wilkins, excuse me. I was working on my 3D head figure. Damn, I haven't uploaded my animated video for over a year. Oh my gosh. Kenny Lewis, let me tell you, please, Kenny Lewis, if you're still out there, please do your animations. Animations are absolutely being appreciated, or in other words, blowing up on the social media platforms. I went to a particular presentation about a 3D animator, sounds like you, Kenny, and he is in less than a year, I think from October of 2020 to, like about a year, maybe a little bit less. He's gotten 7 million subscribers on YouTube, and he's many millions in TikTok. He just has given the gift that people will appreciate, and that is cool game-related animation. And he's done this looping thing, which I'm sure you can do. Puts out a video a day, so 365 videos a year. It takes him 8 hours to do a video, and usually it's between 10 and 15 seconds. So you don't need it doesn't have to be long, but people really appreciate that. So please if you would like to succeed in this space, get your to-do list out, try to carve out some substantial time and make these animations, do them on YouTube Shorts, do them on IG Reels, and do them on TikTok. And I got to tell you that you're going to garner an audience of people that appreciate that. And then when I say audience, I mean friends. And then with those friends, you guys can collaborate. And I'm sure it will be a lot of 3D animators who you'll like to meet. Maybe you'll meet someone and maybe you'll create a series that maybe actually generates some income. So the time is now, as Daniel Batal said, the time is now. Now is the time to be able to create online because there's so many opportunities. Billions of people are coming into the market. There's people out there, believe it or not, who are just discovering, oh, YouTube can be an entertainment platform. Like, I don't need to watch NBC anymore. I could just watch YouTube. Now, you and I have known that for, years probably. I have cable, but I've never turned it on. And that's been true for my last 2 houses. I've just had internet. So a lot of times you have to get cable in order to get the internet. So anyway, long story short is, Kenny, start your animations tomorrow. We got Lachey over here. I'm in the process of having my nephew take editing classes because he loves that type of stuff. Might as well keep it in the family. Crazy, I'm building a team, but haven't made one video yet. Well, listen, Lachey, you have the right idea in mind. To borrow Hillary Clinton's statement, it takes a village. It takes a village to do any endeavor. And lots of times you'll hear about these famous startups that didn't sell a product for years, but they certainly had teams. So I don't think you borrow $50,000 and hire an editor and a social media manager and an organizer or something right up front. You do what you can, but you're taking the perfect example. Hey nephew, I'll pay for your editing classes if you help me with some videos. That's your team. Start it now. Reach out for help. People want to help. They care about you. So good job. Oh, look at this one. I've never heard this one. It says, some people hate watch, so they like and love tyrannical creators. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of that. I'm not suggesting that you change your content to, what would be the word? Say, listen, I'm no longer doing content that would provoke people. I mean, I think that there's a place for that. But I do think that there's a way to give a gift, a positive gift. So anytime you come up with some negative thing in life, think about what you could tell people to avoid that negative thing. That's what I do in my, I mean, frankly, this is what's frustrating about my content sometimes is I'm a dumb lawyer. And really, we are only called when there's disaster. So there's funny jokes about, personal injury lawyers who cheer when they hear a car crash outside. Now, of course, that's very demented and that's very bad, but there's a lot of truth in it. They thrive on disaster. And so when I've made my content, I've wrestled with it. I am not a negative guy. Matter of fact, I really yearn for positivity, and I think you do too. But why do you need a lawyer then? I don't cheer you on. I enable you to do certain things in your business, and then I protect you from disaster. So what I've tried to do is when I talk about how, oh my gosh, Article 13 is coming and European creators are being threatened, I also say, okay, so this is how you change it. And this is what you do. This is how you change your content. When we're on the live stream and someone says, oh my gosh, my channel was terminated, I don't just sit there and go, I hate YouTube, and it shouldn't have been terminated, and it was false, and I don't just sit on that. I try to be empathetic and listen to you, and then I move on to the next point, which is, okay, that sucks. Are there still any available alternatives? Have you exhausted your appeals? Have you contacted YouTube? Have you gone on subreddit and tried to get the attention of a trusted flagger? Are there certain different remedies you can take to be able to get that channel back? And then the next step is, oh my gosh, you did all that and you still don't have a YouTube channel. What can we learn from this? And now in this day and age of mass social media, where do we go so that we don't make that same mistake again? YouTube is not the only game in town. One of the things was really interesting about this VidSummit seminar that I went to this last week was the top YouTube educators talking about, listen, we need to be aware of the fact that we should be on other platforms. You need to control the distribution of your content. All this stuff is really different than what it used to be years ago. It used to be, oh, put everything on YouTube and it's such a great repository for your information. Even these guys who are built into the system are saying website, paywall, app, whatever it is, have something so that you can get paid for your content. Really important. So now I'm super sensitive about being not hydrated. Feel bad. I did drink water before. Again, my ego talking. Stop it. Cyber editing. Woohoo! Good to see you. Let's see, where are we at here? We got Fashion Project's founder book taught me how to listen to feedback. Feedback is gold. Yeah. Thank you, Fashion Projects. I want to emphasize that fact. And you know what? I'm going to be a friend with you on this process because I suck with feedback and I've got to get better. So let's help each other. So please, when you're putting comments down in the lives and maybe videos, whatever it is, maybe you're sending me an email to info@iancorshine.com. I'm going to hear you. And I don't mind if you just roast me, because I know that in that roast is got to be a particle of constructive feedback. Okay. So I'm going to promise to honor and be open to feedback, and let's do it together because I think it's only going to help us and help our friends. All right. Friends on the internet, like you said. Reggie Bump 37 says friends on the internet. Actually, I buy that. Well, we're friends. Good job. How Tech 2, good advice. I heard to make content as if you're making it for one person. Thank you for that advice. Absolutely. I think the era of, hey guys, kind of referring to people in the plural is gone. And now get to the point, get to something that helps people, and what helps people are stories, and then help people avoid consequences or do something positive in their life. Those are key components. Let's say we got Jeremy Brent. I've been shown that when people call me friend, they are not to be trusted. First of all, I love Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy, very much for joining us today. Yeah, there is that ironic use of friend, like, listen, friend, you better not do that. So yeah, there is that component, but I mean friend in the more positive, spiritual manner. So. All right, DSLR Dave, gold content. You just replaced Daryl. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, DSLR Dave. I wanted to mention to you all that there was a comment about my thumbnails. That is one area where I've been pretty consistent in my life of delegating. And I want to say that my good friend, and I mean that in real terms, DSLR Dave helps me with my thumbnails, and I could not do it without him. It's so funny. I hear people in the halls and stuff, creators talk to me about, oh yeah, I was working on this Photoshop thing. Am I alone? I cannot figure out Photoshop. I'm good with Premiere Pro. I'm good with Final Cut Pro. And what are the other programs? I mean, I can do decently with other video editing and programs, but Photoshop escapes me, and it escapes me no matter what I do. I don't know how many tutorials I've watched about individual functions, about the entire thing. I even took an online course. Photoshop blows me away. And so as a result, I stink at thumbnails. I really do stink at them. Okay, I'm not good. And so I have to use someone. And I will say this, there's so many resources for you out there, whether it be, is it YouTube thumbnails? I think if you type in YouTube thumbnails, it'll come up with a service that's so good, and they're relatively cheap to do your thumbnails. And, it depends on who you believe, but people really talk about the fact that thumbnail is the most important thing when you're trying to get attention for your videos. And I tend to believe it. They say that, especially with mobile viewing, which is most of my views and probably your views, that having that contrasting, simple, easy to understand the entire concept of the video thumbnail is going to bring more people in than even the title. The biggest example, I think, ever, and I just think, just subscribe to Mr. Beast. Even if you don't like content about pranks and challenges and things like that, if you look at his thumbnails, there's absolutely no doubt that you know about the video. You don't know the payoff, the end of the video, but you know what the video is about just from looking at the thumbnail. So when I'm trying to come up with thumbnail ideas, I usually go to channels like Mr. Beast that kill it on thumbnails, and I just try to copy them. Not copying exactly, but use some of the concepts that they use so that I can explain what's happening in this video. So thank you. And thank you, DSLR Dead. Let's just see. Just Essential Life says, thank you, Ian. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you again. I love your essential oils content. Let's see. Is there anything else? I think I popped down. Oh, we got to talk about, I have so many comments here. I got to get to them. Sorry. Okay. All right. Well, shoot. Oh, Ron is here. Ron, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that. Jim says, maybe we should have a YouTube Creative Awards night. Then they would be an actor. Maybe let's do it. That would really be cool. I think that's really cool too. And they do have some of those awards shows, but I don't really watch them. Leo Sketches, thank you so much for joining us, Leo. Weena, excuse me, Colado, or maybe Vina. But I enjoy sharing my journey. Probably won't make any money. I'm using YouTube to grow in my skill for music. Well, I think that's a great idea. That brings us to the concept of whether or not your social media is a hobby or a business. I think with social media, it's hard to start out as a business. And I don't care if you're a product review channel, so your primary purpose is to be able to sell product. I think at the beginning, it has to be a hobby. And I think that if you take in those 10 top truths of elite YouTubers, you can gradually build your friend base to the extent that it can become a business. I mean, there are plenty of examples of YouTube channels that are just business channels. There's lawyer channels that are selling their lawyer services. There's, pottery channels that are selling their pottery, or painting channels that sells their special kind of paints. But I do think that even with those channels, there has to be at least a minute of donation and a positivity to their viewers. So I think it's a great attitude to say, listen, I want to get better on camera. I want to get better in front of people. So I'm going to start this YouTube channel. But it's not good enough just to do your practice speeches before the camera. That's not going to really give people a gift. So it's a balance between your own interests and the interests of the audience. And top elite YouTubers will tell you that you don't matter. Me, I don't matter. The only thing I should be thinking about is you, because you're trading time away from me, and I'm very appreciative. So if you incidentally get to practice your music, but you're giving value, which in your case is entertainment, then good. So with me, that's the same thing. I certainly need to tell better stories. I need to be better in camera. I need to be better socially. I have so many different issues. And if I incidentally can help in that regard myself, but predominantly and maybe only give value to you, then that's a great trade-off. So I like it. Yeah, this is another issue. We talked about knowing your analytics, and now we're going to dig deep. FIFA 07 Pro. I don't understand YouTube ads. My CPM is around 7. That's good. My RPM is only 56 per 1,000 views. Yeah, that is a mystery that I cannot help you with because I don't understand it either. I think the best person to go to that is just go to Roberto Blake's channel. He understands that stuff so well. He's tried to explain it to me on the phone. He's tried to explain it to me on audio messages that we go back and forth on. I still don't get it. And I've decided that I will never understand it. I mean, I don't want to be passive and just say, I'm not fight for what I'm entitled to. But at the same time, there's so many differing changes. Like, people say, oh yeah, if you're doing real estate or finance channels, huge CPM. And that's true, but only with certain channels, because what ends up happening is advertisers will pay more for more famous content, because in YouTube, you're allowed to actually place ads on specific content, a specific video, a specific portion of a video, a specific channel. So it's not clear. There are general concepts to take away from content. Like if you're going to be doing tech stuff, probably going to get a cruddy CPM because there's so much competition. And it's really hard to compete in there. I think the general rule is, and again, this really shouldn't be your concern because you're really just trying to have your passion project give value to others. But, if your audience is in the higher economic space, you're going to make more in your CPMs. You're going to make more per video. If they're in the lower, you're going to make less. But again, I don't think it should matter. I really don't, because I think, first of all, your primary source of income should never be AdSense. You should be obviously thinking about other ways you can monetize your content, whether it be through behind paywalls or merch, services, consults, templates, LUTs, whatever it is. And then secondarily, even if you did, like, I'm going to start a real estate channel because I want high CPMs. First of all, no one's really going to care because your passion's not there. So I really think that even though you shouldn't be passive, you should get what you're entitled to. You should figure out problems that may exist in your analytics, You really should put that to the side and maybe allow that to be another team member to analyze, but really just try to ooze your passion and give that gift of positivity to your viewers, and then worry about how the cards are dealt. I don't know. Idiocracy again. Let's see. Oh, we got Stephen the Jupiterian. Pronunciation is something I want to get better at too. I have started a channel and my content is slow to develop. I talk about a wide variety of things. For example, unboxings, tarot, and astrology. All right, so there must got to be more to that, right, Stephen? Oh, well, anyway, Stephen, that's wonderful. But I think this brings up the concept of niche content. Back when YouTube started, niche content didn't matter. You could do a video about doing a model airplane and then do the next video about your new camera and then another video about teaching YouTube concepts. Over time, when YouTube changed their algorithms and they wanted to give the viewer more of the same content because they knew the viewer would like this, that's become more important. I think we're moving into a middle road. I was talking about this with my good friend Craig the other day, and we were saying that content now and creators we're starting to see are either they're starting separate channels for different content or they're just doing bucket content. I was thinking about Graham Stephan again. The guy does a lot of financial stuff, but he has different buckets of content, different series and sections. Cryptocurrency is definitely a bucket of content for him. Now, it doesn't really apply to what he originally started the channel for, which is real estate. But that's a bucket that's doing well. He also has a bucket on Tesla. He owns a Tesla or multiple Teslas and he reviews them like almost like a tech review channel. That's another bucket. It doesn't really relate to real estate. So I guess my answer to your question is good on you. It's probably better if you do buckets that kind of relate to each other. So with Graham Stephan, I think it's kind of like the middle-aged millennial that's going through buying houses, wanting to invest, getting that new cool car. So I think that's how they relate. So I would say that that's probably smart. But the other part too is just to let your viewers know that this is who I am. This is the kind of content I like making. So every other week, I'm going to make a tarot video. What was the other ones you were doing? And then the next week I do unboxing. If you just prepare your audience for what is the content that you have planned to do, a lot of times they'll stick around. I like tarot and I like unboxings of electronics. But if you don't give them advance notice, then they're going to trip out. They're going to be like, okay, we were talking about, prognostications for my future. And now we're talking about the new iPhone 13. What is going on? Unsubscribe. So, yeah. So do buckets of content, but let your viewers know in advance, your friends know in advance of what you're going to do. That's the best advice. Oh yeah, how to tech. Again, I'm just loving being here with you. So I'm just going. I usually don't go this long, but I'm just really having fun. So the problem with shorts is if you go viral, it can give you an audience that won't like the rest of your content. So you want to make sure your shorts attract the right audience. Yeah, I agree with that. I made a YouTube short that really has nothing to do with my content. It was really just a test. I think it's 33,000 views, and for me, that's really good performance. It was just a video of me on my iPhone listening to a popular song and kind of saying the words were illegal because they were about doing drugs and things. It's kind of weird story. Go on my channel and check it out. I don't know if that's the audience I want. Certainly the comments show that it's probably not. It was like a lot of young kids. They were arguing with me. No, this is not illegal, and it was a tongue-in-cheek joke. But it's hard to know. We're at the beginning stage with YouTube Shorts. I mean, listen, if you got a YouTube Short, your channel is usually getting 500 views per video in the first week, and then you did a short that got 1 million views in a day or two. It's hard to dispute the fact that there's going to be more exposure to your other content. So even if 5 of the 1 million views you got on your YouTube short now likes you, that's good. Is it a great return on your investment? Maybe it is. I mean, some shorts take seconds to make and some take many, many days. It just depends. So it really comes down to your passion and whether or not that post of that short is offering value, entertainment, information, or inspiration, or some combination of the three. So that's my advice. If you like doing it and it's easy to do, especially with these new iPhones that have really good cameras, freaking do it. But just realize that if it is substantially different than your other content, that there is going to be a little bit of a paradigm problem. People are going to be like, dude, I love your reviews of mobile phones, and now you did this thing where it's a picture of an elephant going to the bathroom or something. I don't know. So I think keeping content consistent probably will help you in the end. Oh yeah, Vina Colado, yeah, kind of a blog on music. I've gained 33 subscribers in 1 year. Well, I love to hear that. That's awesome. And again, not subscribers, 33 friends, because they are friends. Matthew, I saw this comment. I think you gave me a tweet. Yes, there is. I think the best way for a template is to go to I believe it's my Creative Commons video. There's other videos where I do it too, where I actually in the description section have a template for how you attribute to Creative Commons content. The other thing also is to go to creativecommons.org, and there you will see how to attribute. And basically, just so you know, my attributions in my description sections for my YouTube videos is based off creativecommons.org. So they're probably the primary source for showing how you properly cite to content that's been deemed Creative Commons. So that's the advice there. Jim, how do we apply for a video editor? Well, thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say that. The best way to apply is to go to info@iancorzine.com. info@iancorzine.com. Just send me a quick email. Let me know what you've done before, maybe some history, maybe even link me to some content, a portfolio or whatever. I desperately need help. So if you're the guy, I would love to work with you. So thank you. Kenny Lewis Wilkins, thanks for your advice. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you, friend. Maybe I start using that word friend in the lives. We got Brown Barrett. Question. I love the fire. The question in the fire. That really gets my attention. Thank you. Excuse me. How do you narrow down what you want to talk about at Ian Corzine? Yeah, I know. Well, that is the $1 million question. You know, the answer to the question is it takes time. That's the answer. There are some people who love cameras, and so they just do a channel. Like, I love cameras. I love looking at cameras. I love taking pictures. I love editing. I love all those things. The one thing that's a problem with that, though, is that they'll go for a year consistently showing up, adding value, and then they'll go, oh man, I was doing these tutorials and it's getting boring. I don't want to talk about aperture anymore. I don't want to talk about the latest model anymore. I have other interests. I want to talk about my flower arranging business or how to make a pie. So the reason I bring up this example is that it's almost no matter what you choose, you're going to evolve. You're going to end your, I mean, there's some examples of people that continually do the same thing. I don't know how they do it. It's really pretty hard. So just envision your journey on social media as that journey. So let's say right now you're really excited about how to show people how to use filters on Instagram to accentuate their facial features and to make them look hydrated, as I apparently am not. Do that. All right. But as over time, things are going to change. Maybe you're going to become a mother. Maybe you're going to be volunteering in school, whatever it is. And so your taste will change. Just build yourself room to expand, and just give your friends advance notice. You know, all you really want in your subscriber count, in your follower count, are engaged people. You don't want people that are dead subscribers, as they call them, which are people who once found value to your content, subscribed, followed, and then never saw your content again. It not only does it hurt in the algorithm, it's just not valuable to you. You don't want to continue to offer gifts to people who just really aren't interested. So if you give notice of your pivots, of your change in your content, you give time for viewers, for friends to adjust, to shift that gear into unsubscribe, which is totally fine. And then, or maybe to say, listen, I really like what she had to say about Instagram, but now she's talking about being a mother and her, the things that she faced, the challenges she faces there. So I think the answer to your question is, find the passion that you want to talk about now. What is the thing that you could just go on and on, despite the fact that you're getting kind of crazy looks from your friends or your spouse about? What do you geek out about with your other friends? Geek out is code for passion project, and that should be the subject of your channel or your account now, maybe for the next 2 months, but maybe for the next 30 years, whatever it is. But that should be that. But then leave yourself open to saying, listen, I may not always be in this position and I may have to pivot. You have seen, and I've got to tell you, the YouTubers, elite YouTubers have all pivoted. I swear to God, if you go, I've done intense research because I'm trying to figure out where I'm at now. What do I want to offer people? Can I expand my friend base even more? And if you do the research, you go to the channels and you look at video number 1, and I want to tell you, I'm gonna put a challenge out there that every single top YouTuber, and I mean 5 million and above, started out with something. Go to Philip DeFranco, go to Peter McKinnon, started out with something and then moved on to something else. It just happens. So understand that, niche down, but that just means right now. What is the topic that you want to talk about now? What is the topic that you will geek out about? Because really, geek out is such a great phrase. Geeking out on camera is what drives people, is what drives views. It's engagement. People see it. They see how you're oozing your passion and they want to be involved. So geek out. What are you going to geek out on? Do that now, and then be open to the fact that you may geek out on something else later, and then give some notice to your viewers, and then geek out on that thing. All right. I was thinking about Graham Stephan again. I think he made a number of videos about how to succeed on YouTube. Graham Stephan, the real estate financial king. But there were videos that, how to get, your first 1,000 subscribers. I mean, okay, he pivoted and now is worth many millions of dollars. So you can do the same thing. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Living Creekside, which is awesome. I wonder if it's like one of those travel channels. Thank you, friend. Do you have a show about giveaway rules? I do have a show about that. I have a video. Just type in Ian and giveaway, and I'm sure it'll pop up on YouTube search. And not only in that video do you get a copy of my mini official rules for giveaways, which is the portion of the text that you'd want to put in your description section or in your post on Instagram or any other social media platform. But also I give you a link to the official rules, which is a template in my library at iancorzine.com. I have a number of templates for social media creators when they need to have written contracts, and that's one of them. I'd highly advise you to watch that video so that you know the ins and outs of giveaways. Giveaways are very effective if they are used sparingly and they are used within your niche, okay? So if you're talking about Instagram filters, a makeup giveaway may be a good thing. If you're a tech reviewer and you do review PCs, then a PC giveaway would be great. Lawyer, and I've tried it. Lawyer giveaways aren't as effective. I mean, what can I give that's related to my product? You know, a free consultation, a free template. Yeah, that might be maybe appetizing, probably not. But you can't do things that are out. You can't, be a channel that's about flower arranging and then you're giving away a free vacuum that you got from your cousin that you can't use. That's just not going to work. And then the other thing you have to remember is that the viewers and the followers that you get from giveaways oftentimes are not the most engaged because their primary interest in being present with you as a follower or a subscriber is for the giveaway to win the prize. So giveaways can be the road to dead subscribers. And I got to tell you, none of us want dead subscribers. We want 10 devoted subscribers that watch 7 out of 10 of our videos, as opposed to 100 subscribers that, you get 3 views. Okay. You don't want that. You want engaged. I always think, I was talking to Craig the other day, I was saying, it would be interesting if social media did a thing where every year they cut out dead subscribers. So, let's say you had 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Every year, YouTube goes through and figures out what subscribers are bots, what subscribers are no longer there, what subscribers haven't reviewed any of your content within a year, and cut them out. So now that 1 million becomes, and I'm just making the numbers up, 700,000. It's actually a good thing. You might go, oh my God, I used to have 1 million, now I have 700,000. But that 700,000 are the people that actually consume your content. And then you can build on those 700,000. So we don't have that yet. So as a result, we have to be the people that really fight for engagement, and we want our viewers to continually come back to our content. Let's see here. Dickie's Discord Daily says, I think it's just hard for people to find YouTube's resources. Having talked to YouTube representatives, they're doing their best to help us, especially in the analytics area. There's a lot of hidden gems there. But apart from that, it's kind of like what we do in life. It's like you get a job at a janitorial supply company. Generally, you're not given a rule book. At 9:15, you do this. At 10:30, you do this. You actually just look at other people and then emulate them. So it's the same kind of thing in the social media sphere. If you want to be a top makeup influencer on Instagram, all right, find the top ones that are really getting good engagement. Follow those top 20, engage with them, try to be friends with them, try to be friends with their friends. Look at the videos with a discerning eye. What are they doing? What colors are they using? What words are they saying at the beginning of their video? How are they finishing the video? How long are the videos? Do an analysis. And then you don't copy, but just emulate with your own spin. And chances are better than not that content will resonate. Maybe you won't be as famous as that one that you love, but you'll certainly be successful. Yeah, How To Tech is exactly right. With giveaways, you certainly got to disclose that it is a giveaway. You have to say where you got the product. You have to say that there's no purchase necessary. And all these things I advise being said in the video itself and repeated in the description section or in the post, whatever, if you're on TikTok or Instagram. So that's true. Yeah, me and Jeremy are the same way. I stopped watching television back in 2012. Yeah. So I think that's true for most of us here. Yeah, I do. Check it out. Andrew Hager says, can we still migrate to other video platforms like YouTube? The answer is yes, you can. and I would advise it. You got to take stock about what your bandwidth is, how much time you have to devote to it. But there's plenty of creators out there who have just staked their claim on other platforms. And they said, listen, I'm going down with Rumble. I like Rumble, or whatever. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunities out there. Obviously, YouTube gets the major attention, but that may not be for long. So maybe you want to choose, you can play the long game and try to be one of the beginning original creators on another platform. I applaud you. The goal of this whole thing, if you haven't figured it all out, is something similar to what we talked about before. And it's not money. It's this. The goal is this. All right, is to take a zoomed out view and to create something that adds value to someone's life, some positivity to someone's life. That's the zoom out. All right. So it doesn't matter if it's on YouTube or TikTok or any other platforms that are getting a lot of attention. What can you do on a daily basis when you're providing this content and you're asking people, please view it, to add some positivity to their life? If you do that, and I don't care what platform, Telegram, whatever it is, you're winning. And the context is your intentions are right. Your intentions are positive. And I think that you're going to do well in life, whatever you do. This could just be a portion of your life. Yeah, and there's other people like Andrew. I don't think I want to be an elite YouTuber. I've been here since July 2007 and haven't gotten very far on here. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just trying to help you see your intentions, and your intentions should be if it's a hobby or if you just want to have 10 friends, 10 subscribers. Think about it. 10 subscribers that value what you do. I mean, imagine if there's 10 people in your living room that love to hear you talk about ring lights. Is that not awesome? I think it's awesome. Do you need a stadium filled with millions, 70,000 people to hear what you have to say? No, you don't. So I agree with you. Do it. And I think you're successful, Andrew. I think you are. Fareed's here. Great as always. Thanks for the stream. Fareed, thank you so much. And I know you're going through some difficulties with your channel, so make sure and you email me your questions. I'd like to hear that. Let's see. We got Melinda Gibson. I love how genuine you are. You really seem to care and want to help people. I know I can trust your information. Thanks so much. Well, Melinda, thank you so much. Yeah, I really do care. I do. I'm sitting here in this small room thinking about what I can do to communicate with you about how valuable it is to have a positive intention for your content and really take that feedback and really have that value proposition, quid pro quo. You're giving me your time, Melinda. Thank you. And as a result, I want to give you information I've learned that I think will help you succeed. All right. FD Fake, you look good, Ian. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I know I look a little weird today. I think I have too much light on me, but yeah, thank you so much for saying that. Let me just make sure we got the comments here because it's kind of follow up here. All right, great. So I think what we've done is we've exhausted this topic for today. Again, I'm Ian. I'm your friend and you're my friend. And thank you so much for joining us today. My content is going to continue to be in the same fashion. It may not be all creator centric. Excuse me. It may be more, which I like to do, which is add value and to give the truth. I really love going through the BS and trying to give you the truth. So in the future, my videos are going to be, I think they're going to be more about, you know what, you don't need to hear this BS. What is really happening? That's what I want to give you. That's the gift that I want to give. If you want it, great. If you don't, no worries. I love you just the same. So anyway, iancorzine.com for consults and legal templates and more videos on the way.